Alright, those who are here, I see homeopathic fossil fuels has said something, let's say, Stu exactly had it, forgotten grosses, sets here, live train action, come back to 30-40 minutes. That's cool, mate. I'll be on for about 2 hours, and make sure when you get home that you're safe on the way home as well, alright? Just let me know when you're back in, and see how we're getting on, alright? But for anybody else who's here or coming in or catching the replay, this is kind of like a live recording for episode 50 of the series. I'm getting my voice back into it. I'm going to start detailing more and more about what's happening, right? So as I go on, I'll be talking through essentially what's been going on in the past few episodes and getting some train work done as well. And if you've been here before, you'll have seen me doing some trains, alright? Chime in with any questions. I'll try and keep track of them as well. I'll try and see what's going on. This is my first live stream, like proper live stream that I've done. Small disclaimer. It's no meant for like people who are a little bit sensitive to swearing. I will do it by accident a lot of the time. So forgive me for that one, and I will endeavour to try and explain properly what's happening. I know some might not quite get the accent, but bear with me, bear with me. Now, where to begin? I wasn't entirely too sure where to begin really. I was just going to try and wing it and see what's going on. But I did build that the other day, but I didn't record any footage yet, and it's kind of like a control panel, but also like a big telly. So that it would just essentially just have flashing lights, and it's also a precursor to something else I was planning and building. So it's literally just like a small block and linked at the back. So the plan was I was going to end up building like a bigger version of that on the other side with a mock-up of the track, and then have sensors and then lights attached so I could track where the trains are without leaving the station kind of thing. But that'll be for much later in the future. So let's get started with essentially a wee tour of this place and explain maybe my thinking, wee bits and bobs, and then we'll get some work done. I've got a wee idea for a wee bit of track, because one side is not quite complete yet, and then disconnect some of the train that we've got already built. Now that is the testing train. It's going to test the tracks, test the layouts. Eventually I'll build a fresh one that's no damaged or broken, whatnot, with all my wee tricks and tips added on. But what we'll do is we'll move on to that and get it running and follow it around, see if any mistakes happen, because then I'll need to start noting down, right, too fast here, too slow there, and maybe work on getting something done. And I also want to try and get a small drone up and running that I've managed to build and see if I can get it moving about. Now, this part of the station here is like a command and control sector. Oh, hang on, wait a minute. Put this on. Hang on, I'll see if I can get that done quietly actually. See, I've got a wee like a Spotify playlist for a wee bit of background noise as well. I don't know if it'll be intrusive or no. So I'll just have that on in the background. If any of you can hear it, just let me know. I mean, it's just a wee thing in the background just to listen to. I don't know if that's too quiet maybe. Anyway, where was I? Close that, minimise that. Right, aye, so this is my command centre, shield table, everything, and it's bare bones. Nothing here yet. I do plan to add to it, let's say replace these panels here, put a replica of that, but like a big widescreen telly, but tracking the trains. Now, this side, I think this is the right side. Yeah, so originally this was just an airlock, and it will become an airlock again, but I've not set up any of the tools for it. I was actually supposed to have like things like lockers and just like a terminal, like the new fieldwork. Oh, what's it called now? Hang on, let's see if I can find it. Oh, no. Is it a recharge station? I think that was it. Fieldwork. No, it wasn't cargo terminals. It's probably staring me in the face and I can't see it. Ah. Anyway, you get the idea. Something that I can recharge my oxygen and I can recharge hydrogen, but in the airlock room, so I don't really mess around. But that was an idea for like when I was on a planet didn't have air, wasn't airtight. Oxygen storage, again, we can dig this out, put something else in. Ideas would be good, because I don't know, it's kind of like a storage room, because across it's the medical centre, and this is like out of date, needs updated. It's dark. This station wasn't really meant for brightness. And up here, originally, was supposed to be like crew habitation, but in the old version of the base design that I had, it was too cramped, too small. I mean, it's maybe worth looking into trying again and seeing how it goes, but I don't know, I'm not too sure. Maybe I could fit something, squeeze something in. Same on the other side, by the way. If I just show you just the other side, it's like practically identical. So yeah, I like my duplication. If we go to the other side, access corridors that just take us to stairs to climb up, because what happens if you're out of gas? You need to climb. Okay, keep it running. Top up view count, and I was hearing you getting in my shoes, and I love the accent. I swear. Anyway, you're doing automotive stuff, and it's your right, mandatory in my field. That's a good one. Thanks very much, actually, because that makes me feel better, because it's like if you're doing like automation and then you click start and it doesn't start, you just want to scream. All that effort, you know. Anyway, so what room am I in? That's you, homeopathic fossils. I was about to say this was the homeopathic room. So this is the O2 room, but this is like out of date as well, so that's going to need updated. And across the corridor we have another room. This is less so out of date, but it is the main refinery hall. And I have ideas for this, because I kind of want to do the idea where I have like dedicated refineries using sorters for specific ores, because everybody who's played Space Engineers has tried to do cobalt and get it done quick. I find that it takes too long, like way too long. So having a dedicated one means it keeps churning away while you've got spare room for the others, because you don't want to have the ores getting backed up, especially if trains are coming in with more stock. And now we have my elevator. Just pop in here, press down. Nice and gentle little drop. And there we go. Main hall, where storage is. This is all going to get tore up, because I get plans for going underground, like directly under the elevator shaft, and building. It's kind of like, see, I took a design for a sword class battleship for 40k, and I repainted it, I gutted out all the interiors, and I redone all the interiors. In the course of that, I'd done an entire engineering section that looked quite good with its big hydrogen tanks. So as a consequence, I want to do something similar to that, but below here. So yeah, I'd love to try and do something like that here as well, and cut it all open and get some stuff done. Hang on a wee sec. My production supervisor at the plant I used to work at literally ordered me to swear more. I will never forget that amazing lady. Lucky guy, you know. If only in my work I could get away with that stuff, but I'm not allowed, despite the fact that swearing is literally part of the Scots tongue. I just can't get away with it, you know. But you know, take care of yourself if you're walking home, you know. Don't get too engrossed in what I'm saying and then, you know, hit a pole or something, you know. Anyway, stair access round at the corner. But what I did do recently is, you've probably seen in if you've been watching the series for a while, I have put windows in place, but I'm going to put like a wee observation deck for the grinder pit. Now I'll get round to that in a sec, because that had issues. Mostly because tool shake, things just shake, bits fly everywhere. I think I got it all sealed up. Emergency power supply. And the staircase down here brings me all the way to, yeah man, very bottom. There we go. Nice wee sitting area to sit and watch the bottom side of an ore fountain, but I was told it's more like an ore shower. Either way, I'm alright with it. I mean, it's Foz down here. You see the beautiful, lovely oars dropping in there. Has it got a use? No, it doesn't. Aesthetically, yeah, because it looks good. No, everything has to have a function. And see playing this game and try to get used to that idea that no, everything needs to have a function. That's been hard for me to overcome, because I look at every block and think, oh, what does this do, and how good is that, and oh, will that work or not? And then I start to think, oh, hold on a minute, just make it look good, and then deal with the function later. And so far, I think I've managed it with just wee things like this. I'm putting wee things in, bits and bobs here and there that look good, have no function, and most notably, that's been quite literally on some of the trains. I literally just added like, I don't know, like a small shrine to the machine god at one end of the train that literally does not need to be there and serves no function. But then I thought, I just put a reactor in and it can be that one, you know. Just ask for the blessings of the motive spirit and see if it moves. But anyway, the majority of this base, by the way, is literally ripped for another design, but I've gutted and re-gutted and then reworked and repainted and redid everything and now adapted it for my rail station, which is where we come out. And I do love these collectors. That it just feels great when a train drives in it and stops perfectly, and then just all the ore slides right in. That was one of the previous episodes I put that in, and at the time I was wishing to myself that I would just whip out the microphone, put my voice into it, and say, "Look how good that is!" But I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it at the time. It was just didn't feel right. But reaching 50, episode 50, this one, it just feels quite, you know, special. And I thought, right, now's the time. We're at a good place here right now. And yeah, I put these collectors on either side because, well, we're going to have trains, 2 trains at minimum, driving either direction. So, if one's in here already dropping off cargo, the other one is either going to be stopped outside, waiting for this one. Hopefully I'll remember to tell you how, but in the short term we'll say there's a sensor in the front of the train that's hooked up to a timer block, and what it does is if it detects a small grid in front of it and a very narrow like bit in front of it, so if there's another train wagon of another unit in front, it will detect it, but 50 metres away, hit the emergency brake, stop the train, and then start a 5-minute countdown, and after 5 minutes it will then restart the train moving. If it continues to detect another train sitting in front of it, it will stay stopped. So one way or the other, I should avoid collisions. Maybe. I'll have to see, because long term it might not work at all. And then over here, and yes, I know someone who has mentioned in the comments in numerous videos, I don't know if he's in yet. If he is, please let me know you're here. And he's mentioned a few times about getting a walkway or something to go across between the platforms. The answer to that is yes. My excuse is I have no excuse. I have just been either caught up doing everything else, and I apologise. But there will be catwalks and things going between the stations, because no, every time I go at the gas, and I've literally had to whip out my grinder, cut a wee bit, and then run up an hour just to get my gas. But yeah, my wee golden throne here and micro. No wee bad thing for a wee quick mock-up so that I can control directly my projectors for everything I want to build under here. That's another thing, I just spotted the roofs. See these roofs? These are all going to get changed out. I'm open to wee ideas, maybe different patterns as well. It would be helpful, because I think I do like the idea of white on the roof, but at the same time I want it to kind of pop with the lighting so that it illuminates an area but isn't like so bright it looks just like distracting, like it's not there. Now the bottoms, I'm not happy with these bottom bits here. I think changing it to like a grey, like maybe a kind of gunmetal grey maybe, or a charcoal grey maybe. I'm not really too sure how grey I want to go, but darken it down. But the problem is these are grey and I don't want it to clash. But I don't know. We'll have to see how that fits. Over here we have my trusty truck. can collect ores, it can deposit them for its rear end. It drives about. I mean, I've like so many saves, and I've drove this truck around either for survival purposes, whatnot, everything. I love it. A wee truck, passengers and everything. I've got like different variations of this one as well. Like one designed specifically with survival. It's all airtight, and yeah, it was good. It was good, but I prefer this one. This one gets me about A to B. And if in the series you've seen me build the mining tower, you'll have seen the Plinko thing, and then that happened, and it was great. Oh, what we got here? Ramboli First Blood. Pop in to give a like. Thanks very much. That's something I really didn't think until you just mentioned it, that I should be saying wee likes would be great. Thanks very much for that one. Anyway, yeah, so down here we have the access and safety rails towards the printing machine. Now, I will say this, I will not use this printer while live for any reason whatsoever if I can avoid it, because this thing causes my sim speed to drop to like 10%, like 0.1. Anyway, right now I think I've got like, what is it? Let's see if I can, nope, wrong button. Nope, shift, there we go. 0.75 on average, so not bad, not bad. It doesn't feel like it's slowing or just chugging bad, so there you go. Thank you for playing my game. Always, it's like my best game, mate, and it's like I've got over 3,000 plus hours now. That's like rookie numbers for some guys, but for me, absolute best. And I think I like only really picked it up recently, like just before the pandemic, like 2019 I think I picked it up. It was just not on my radar, and then I picked it up, played it, hooked instantly. Like that was it for me. Like all the other games, straight out the window. That was it. It was this one for me. And sometimes I literally just turn it on just to sit about and just place blocks. Sit. And I'm looking at myself like, what am I doing? And it's just having fun. See what make it. Love seeing what others make of it. Well, that's the thing. If there's a creative sandbox and everybody's got access to the same sandbox, everybody's going to build something different, something new, something somebody's not seen before, and that I think is the key to a game like this, because somebody's going to build something that nobody else has seen before, and everybody else is going to think, oh, I can do something like that, and then do a variation of it, and then another one, and it's like you're going through permutations and all that as well. It's things start to get better and more perfected as time goes on. I know that the sequel's like coming, it's in alpha, and I've got a copy already, but I've not touched it yet because I have like a, in my head I've got like a kind of like a tick box, and so far I've ticked off a few of them for my reason to jump in. But right now the big tick is I want to try and get as much done here in this save as much as possible before I move on to the sequel. But I won't move over completely because SE1, let's say, you don't do 3,000 plus hours and then just jump. That's just no for me, you know. Anyway, sorry. Back to where I was about the base, right? The base. So I do a wee bit outside work here. Turrets hidden in armoured plate. There's supposed to be welders there that are hooked up to a defensive block. So whenever it detects an enemy grid within 2 kilometers, the defensive block turn on welders, which is like an auto repair system. So if turrets get taken out, they repair, keep shooting, keeps things going. Then I have some of the mods being added, and one of them being the shield, so less useful at the minute, and I think my sim speed would tank if I had that many like grinders. Because this goes all the way around here. It's a bit dark, but the sun should be coming up soon because I logged in. What time was it? I forget what time I logged in at actually. If you guys out there are saying it's too dark, just tell me and I'll yeet up the sunlight. Yeah, you know what? I think it might be best if we do. I know it sounds a bit cheaty, but let me see. Where is the east? Wrong way. There we go. Sun does rise in the east, right? There we go. And then pull it. There we go. I need to get back to some work on my fleet. I've been off working other things now, and I'm just getting it all always jumped together. Now working back. Hang on, I need to read that again. Sorry. I need to get back on soon. Work my fleet. I've been off working on some other things and try to get food to put together. I now to get them all jumped back together. Oh right. So I think I know what you mean. Are you meaning like having like a few grids and then they do like a hyper jump together and keep them like in a formation? Because if that's something I tried and it didn't work out well, and I don't know where the second grid went. That was a different save. just I'm not completely ineffectual, you know. But yeah, where am I? Upstairs. Right. Aye. So this is the outside of the big communal areas. Again, still need to work on it, build some stuff up. To get a ship for you, jump using relay broadcast. Ah, yeah. Right, I get what you mean. I have actually tried something similar, without really knowing how to do it, just like muddling about in the dark. And yeah, it was try to get things to move. Like I think I had like it was 3 satellites in a row, and I tried to get 2 different small grids to jump at the same time, from one to the second to the third, and one of them I don't know where it went, and I just like I couldn't find it. So I thought like I've actually just thought about maybe I should have used the creative tools and try and find it with the entity list. I have no excuse as to why I didn't do that. That is that's on me. Yeah. I should be better at this. um so the outside of the base, so many landing pads. Um but by the way, Rambly, First Blood. Not really too sure what you prefer to be known as, but I think I want to say is good luck in getting that to work. Um, if you do, please let me know because I'd be curious to try and work out what I done wrong. I just not too sure what's happening with some of my wee grids. I like it's like I think sometimes like if I'm in the pilot seat, they it's like they get all shaky with the eye blocks. Like they don't want to follow me, they don't want to jump with me, and I'm like, come on, nah, it just won't happen. But then when I get out, perfectly fine. They work perfectly fine. So I'm curious if they'll do a jump because I've got a plan in the future which might work. Jump drives needs same level golf course. You know what? Saying that they'll go off course, I'm actually thinking that the second one was a blind jump. I can't be sure, it was a while ago. That's baffling me, that one. I will have to do that again because seeing the not too distant future, I need uranium and there's none here on this planet and there's none in the local area, but I'm going to have to bring some down and that will mean having to use small grids to jump about. So I will get to trying that again. Love your work. We'll try and keep up with you. Oh, thanks very much, pal. I've literally just been touring the base at the minute and it's like, I haven't even got to the trains yet. But yeah, but I'll get there in a sec. Literally, trust me, it's a sec because this one is just my last wee piece at the base, and this is my drone that I'm going to be sending to a stone mine somewhere up there, I think, and going to try and automate it. I'm going to try to get it to fly up and pick up the ore, fly back and deposit the ore here, or in this case, it will be stone because I need the gravel for something specific. Over here is the rotating plate. This allows the trains to rotate from forward to back. It works. A few times I've came along and bits that are missing, but I just rebuild it. This is a Y intersection. I think the timer's a wee bit off because that landing gear has a tendency not to grab a hold of the track and stop it from falling apart, and the weight of the train pushes it down. We have the Mark IV mining and welding train. I say Mark IV because I've went through multiple iterations of the same structure, and this is the Mark IV. I call it a Mark IV because it was more the onboard mechanics were tweaked and made better, and it's a lot more stable. The wheels work better, so everything's a lot more fine-tuned and working well. This one's the Mark III, and that's why I say it was the internals that's worked, because this one to the exterior looks identical, because the exterior is identical, but the interior is slightly different. I actually need to build, I'm not too sure if I should build a second Mark III, because if those of you who are watching, who are like subscribers or fans of the channel, and you have seen the previous episode 49, one of these fell off the track, right? And Muggins here thought it'd be a good idea to build a small grid lifter, because a few guys in the comments over the past 50 episodes have said if you got anything that can be used to lift it up, or a crane. And homeopathic fossil fuels guy in the chat as well, he actually asked, and sorry mate, I forgot to get back to you on that one. I was actually supposed to do it when I was setting aside my admin time the day, but I was actually kind of caught up playing Warhammer 40,000, so, well, 40k, but I apologise for that one. But yeah, I'll respond to that comment a wee bit later if I've not been able to respond to it in the live stream, alright? But it tipped her, right? I tried and tried and tried, I managed to get the train lifted up, and it was just so heavy, the small grid lifter just couldn't do it, right? No cranes that it wouldn't lift. But I eventually resolved, you know what, I'll just grind it down and then just rebuild another one. On the flight, and this was bizarre, right? So I was able to get it up off the ground, but it keeps pulling me back down. But I managed to stay up, and all I needed to do was keep tapping the spacebar, keep it, level, keep the horizon level as I go along. And I thought, safe, I'll get back to the base, I'll just dismantle it. No. Clang had other ideas. See, what Clang thought would be a great idea was to tip me forward, and then keep tipping me forward until I was completely upside down with a 150,000 kilogram weight. Now was on the bottom, now on the top, and then bang, straight into the ground. So I got a bomb and blew it up. Or did I? Nah, it's the art of saving it, blowing it up, reloading the save, and then bringing the grinder out and grinding it down bit by bit. Yum, 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 yum. Oh, Chad's in. Alright, Chad, you said that you were going to come, and then I see you. Starting out before I thought it would. That might be the GMT thing. I wasn't really too sure what time to actually say for, and because people are in the world, so I think it was the GMT was the correct one. I wasn't really too sure if it's BST or I don't really know. Latitude 0, no, longitude 0 time, because that's where I am. So yeah. What's next? Oh, the tank. I built this on the wrong planet, and then flew in this from the wrong planet to here. And I'm actually surprised it still works and its wheels are still attached. Not bad. Took me a while to get the interiors all working, because it was it's a tank. It's not really a base, but I guess it doubles for both. I'm actually wondering if it's still here. How many stations have I got done? So far, mate, I've got the primary station, the iron ore station, right? Just the two, because I was prioritising that I need the iron for the track. The next station I'm planning to build is I think it's nickel, silicon and magnesium mine, because they're all close together. And I've got an idea for that one. I'm thinking like a giant rib cage with like spine sections along the top that the train track literally drives through the middle of, and then depositors for the trains itself, and then seeing how that all works. By the way, when the footage stops still, imagine me sitting at the computer and I'm actually using hand gestures. Yeah, so that's probably what's going on there. Chad, I even googled GMT to my time zone, so Google lied to me. That can happen. Yeah, that's the AI being naughty, I guess. Rider Wing Alex is in. Yo, hello. Do you enjoy your defeat of 40k earlier on today? I seen how you set up the lobby in one other day. Looks cool. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. Let's get out of this tank. No, I won't do that. That's just rude if I cut the glass. Right, let's get out of here and let's see what else. Right, here we go. Sorry, just for myself here for Dreadwing Alex in the chat here. Salamanders 1, Ultramarines 0. Anyway, where were we? This monstrosity of a giant truck, temporary, used to help me build, travels in consort with my rail track, and is just a blown up giant version of the little one. Not bad. Does its trick, has its refineries on the back, a capture chute for ore, the works, brilliant. This little thing here is my attempt at a floating servo skull for 40k, but the eyes are floodlights. Will follow me around and keep place illuminated while in the dark. It's actually quite good because when I was like 13 plus odd kilometres away, I just reached out with the what you call it, the antennas, and told it to come. 5 minutes later it showed up on time. It was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And up here, a wee Corvette gunship that's now circling the base because I think I named them A, B and C. C is down there, crashed. B, vanished. And this is still A and it's damaged. I'll need to recall it and rearm it. But yeah, not too bad. It has took a few hits. Let's see. How's your work coming, Dreadwin? Been a few I looked. Who's the super game champion enough, Seph? Do you think placing armor plates in the outer rail in the tighter cuffs might help lean in the scuff? It's possible, but I'm thinking using wheels, Chad. I think if I use wheels but on their sides, because wheels tend not to take any damage. So if the train starts to lean, it'll rub against the wheels and be kept upright. But I have a plan for that. Something else that I've been tweeting about with, which is over here, and I'll show you that right now actually. So the main primary bulk of the train, see here, just these wee bits there. I added these and then tested it coming down the hill because I noticed that the wagons get a little close if the hill is giving them additional speed. So the two bumpers at the left and right sides here will mount each other so that the guide wheels are above the track, so it starts to move out of place and then it gets stuck. Whereas when I added that there, just this wee bit here, whenever it tries to mount up it gets caught and pushed back down on a hill decline. Works well on an incline as well. But if it's going around a corner at a high speed as well and the train tries to bank itself up the way and fall off the track, this bit will rise first and the wee flange bits here at the side will catch on that and keep it held down. The problem is then I'm just adding more weight that's leaning on that side and then the whole thing starts to tip over. Oh yeah, somehow managed to get my fast legs on this time. What, is that you back home? Fossil. That sounds kind of insulting, but that's kind of like the middle part of your name. Fair enough. Right, next wee bit to show as part of the discussion, the details. An X intersection. Now, this was out of necessity because sometimes I'll have a train that's needing to bypass another, or it needs to go back to repairs. So an X intersection allows one that's on the wrong track to transfer out to the other one and vice versa. And I had actually a lot of fun building this one because it's just an expansion of the Y intersection, just with a few more steps. And I thought the way the placement of these landing gears under here is each of the tracks move across was just perfect. And I thought adding like the wee designs for the signals as well, because it's like I can activate these things with just a signal block. So it's like I'm on the train, I just press a button and then boom, they switch over, they engage, they lock into place, and the train just drives over. Automating it on the other hand, that merits a few swears. It's difficult enough as it is. Marching is faster than strolling. Got me groceries, oven heating. This will be a good Sunday evening telly. Oh, thanks very much. I didn't think I was the kind of guy that'd be good for evening telly. It's an interesting anti-roll idea, not something I ever thought of though. Well, Chad, it's like I never really thought it either, but when I was giving thought to what you're saying about the plates, I was like imagining, like, first I was imagining doing it with small grid maybe, because they're just like more disposable, takes up less grids, and I thought no, because when the train hits that, it's going to do obscene damage, right? Then I thought if I do large grid, then that means the spacing between the trains could be tricky, because when the trains turn in the corner, the front of it kind of comes out the way a wee bit. So I was thinking that would mean that they would have to come out like an extra couple of blocks further away from the track itself. So I was like, it could still work, but then I'm worrying about if the train was on the second train was on the other track going the other way, might clip it if there was no enough room, because the one going the other way, its front will be coming out the other side, so it might be spaced apart. I don't know if I'm explaining this very well, but I'm trying my best. Then I thought about the wheels, because I was messing around with a rover with the wheels facing on their sides, facing down onto the ground, and then using atmospheric thrusters and just zipping about, like hovering across the sand. And well, I crashed into something, a cobalt ore like stone in the ground, and that I didn't see loading in. Anyway, let's move on for that. A traffic light. Why a traffic light? I don't know. There's no reason for it other than aesthetics, and like I said earlier on, aesthetics is key. And well, for me anyway. And I thought, build a traffic light, hook it up to the X intersection. So right now they're all green, so just go straight through, done, dusted. If the intersection is switched, they'll turn red. They'll start flashing if it's in the like swapped position to get you across, and it's flashing telling you there's a timer, get across, move your arse, get out of there. Even bought some salty nuts for a snacks and a pizza so I don't have to cook. Yeah, by the way, I'm planning proper rails, not my rails. I want to do signals for auto throttling at turns. See, that's something I'm planning on working on as well at some point in the future. So if you've already got there, let me know how you get on. If I've got there before you, hopefully I'll be able to help out, because you know we're going to need to work on this at some point. We're going to have to do the hard graft. So next up, the train itself. Now this is the prototype one. I'm not doing very much repairs to it, because I'll be building fresh ones with new kind of reworked. I wanted reworked interiors before I put them on the workshop. Now a few guys have been asking me in the comments in some of the videos, are you putting them on the workshop? The answer is yes. I even have a separate save file with like a display table, and going to record like so many seconds of footage to put on the workshop wee display thingy. And I'm doing the hand gestures again. Anyway, so they'll be on there, and you'll see like a full 360-degree rotation in each of the trains. So in this case, the locomotive will be spinning around, you'll be able to see it all, and that would be, I think that would be the Mark 5 or Mark 6, because I think this one's the Mark 4. That's how many iterations of these things I've been gone through for the original one, which was for a content creator called Hanels, who did various different train sizes, and I picked the one that I quite liked the look and the length of, and then just started chopping it apart, sticking parts together and creating some kind of odd amalgamation of things, and then I started to like the idea of using Battlefleet Gothic inspired designs, and then I completely done this one from scratch after like dismantling the original artist's work, finding out how it worked, how it moved, how it done all the wee intricate details and all that stuff, and then started myself and then asking myself a question, where does that go, why would that be there, and this was the result that I came up with. Still not 100% too happy about like the scoop at the front, but it's alright. But I do think this is one of my crowning achievements. I just think it's lovely. Some guys says remove the gun turrets that were on the top of it. I completely agree. Once I'd done it, I thought it just aesthetically looked better. I will be building a separate wagon in a creative build that will be hauled at the rear of the train, that will have like guns and all that on it, and it'll be like a kind of like a. I'm trying to imagine if on Cadia there was rail tracks, how would Creed have a wagon set up to protect troop movements if they were being ferried across? And I've got a few ideas, kind of like two bastions, like one bastion sliced in half and then laid on its side kind of idea. I don't know if that would look good, but well, I'd have to see what it looks like once I've built it. It might be alright, it might not, but once it's built you can go through iterations and read it, and then you'll come up with something you like, which is where I come to this one now. These have took damage on the wheels. See if the other side's got cleaner wheels. Nope. Oh, right, so this is what the wheel set for the wagon is supposed to look like, and the other ones are broken. Now, if you have played 40k, you will see these cargo containers, and this is my attempt at recreating them in Space Engineers. But I also done a little detailing on the door as well, because I thought the doors in the actual cargo containers in the tabletop are a little boring, so I put like an ego and two spanners just to see what it looked like. What have we got here? I reckon sensors in the train could detect properly placed blocks to signal different stuff with event controllers. Also, Warhammer 40k in trains makes me imagine Rogo Dawn as a tank engineer character. You know what? I wouldn't put it past them, but Porterabo. Sorry, did I drop that mic a little too hard there when I say Porterabo? Yeah, I'm a bit of an Iron Warriors fanboy here. Don't hate me. Don't hate me. Yes, that's right, Dread. Praise the Omnissiah, the Machine God, and the Motive Force. For those in the know, by the way, I've actually got the iconography of the Machine God tattooed in my inner left arm. So yeah, that's a thing. Yeah, so the cargo containers. I'll need to get spectator mode. Right, where are we? Here. Now, the reason I'm doing this is to get inside it without needing to chomp away. Oh, by the way, I thought the top also was pretty good because, yeah, detailing takes time, effort, iteration after iteration. If I go inside, so many cargo containers. The problem I've faced is the height of these ones, because these ones mean if they're full, the centre of gravity rises and it topples over. If I go under, I had to give up and use artificial mass blocks to give it more weight to stop them falling over when they're light. But this one is going to be going up in the workshop pretty soon. I just need to build a fresh one and put some white paint underneath there to show where the rotor is going to be, and then it should be good to go. This would be the Mark III, my third iteration of these cargo wagons, and they've got lighting, and I've spaced the lighting just enough that it should look good. I'll give you an example. I'll just yeet the darkness up like that. Don't know if you can see how the lighting effect looks. It's not too bright, it's not too intrusive, it's just right, I feel. But you know, if you've downloaded it for the workshop when I've eventually get it up there, change it to your heart's content, I suppose. Now, back to the time. Where we go here? I'm not hating anyone because I'm a mechanicist and sororist type and thus got no opinion on chapters. Very good, very good. That's actually a good place to be. Chad says, how far away is the Nico Plus station going to be? Actually, not that far. Not that far. I'll show you shortly, actually, because a quick clue. See where the first viaduct was that I built? There. Alright. See if you can get that one. This is the wagon that has the hoppers. Collectors. Yeah, I used to play Minecraft and they were called hoppers. Alright. Yeah, this one will collect everything and deposit. Another cargo wagon and another locomotive. Now, spectator mode. And this is a necessity at the moment. I'll raise the sun a little higher because things are going to get dark in some places. What was I saying? The low level lights do give a bit of an underglow look really nice. Oh, thanks very much. Thank you. Yeah, I figured that if lights are too bright, they can kind of take away from a design. If they're too low, then what they're there for. But I figured if it was just bright enough, if I could get it. And actually, when I was moving the, I think I'll show you in the middle part. So, see if you look here right in the middle, there's no source of that light because it's down there. The interior light's on the side of the chevrons. But it's the source of the light has been moved using the offset to sit right in the middle of the plate so that it glows the inner square. And I thought, yeah, that's it. That's what I'm looking for. And even if I'd like to change it to like a kind of like a subtle orange as well, it kind of comes off quite well. Got like how Iron Hands are basically spare parts salesmen, but with the body, so pushy with selling their parts. Yeah, I'll agree. It's like the Iron Hands are the ones who are like, but we lost the Primarch. Yeah, so did other legions as well. You know, accept it. Fight back. Alright, maybe you did, but you know, we all know who was the one that was doing it for them. You know, Medusan. 40k version of Iron Hands, it's like they're so quiet. Even in the lore, they're quiet. I'm like, are you still here? I mean, when it comes to my Space Marines and my Salamanders player, right? You know, alright, fine. It's unfair. I've got a perpetual Primarch, right? But when I look at the Iron Hands, I'm like, are you still here? I thought you were replaced by the Black Templars. So that's me just having a wee chuckle at myself. Anyway, right, so where was I? I'm going to follow the track. Vulcan lives! That's right! Vulcan lives! Too right, he lives. I've got a theory that he's in the throne room. Just hanging out. Yeah, right, so, need to give myself a wee slap there, I'm getting too excited. Follow the track, let's follow the track using the spectator mode. First things first, let's start with a distance. Yeah. Right, so the Tor is here, so let's see how far away this is. Slow down, right, slow down, right. So, the first corner, downhill all the way, leveling out, continuing on, start elevate, then decline. This bit here is, I'm gonna send, I want to actually, right, see the reason I've left this piece here, see this ugly bit in the middle with the wee hill bit here, the reason I've left this at the moment is because the emergency brake system on my trains, I want to test out if it works. I need to see if it works properly. So what I was thinking, when the main locomotives are on the track running about, I want to put one of the mining trains on the track at the same time, and I want to have them mine out this bit while the other trains are in motion, and seeing if the other trains will stop, allow it its time to do its job, and then move on, and then see if that works. And I want to just sit back and watch to see that happens. Having said that, I might get impatient and just go, fuck it, and then just drill it away myself. Never know. Anyway, let's continue on. He's taking a secret side gig as a reggae master, trying to infiltrate the Star Wars reggae parody universe. You know what? I wouldn't put it past him, especially if it comes with love and hugs. Ooh. See, doing this for the first time, like digging out a tunnel and a curve in the tunnel at the same time. I mean, those of you have probably seen it with a massive wing of like just drills like hanging off the edge. I literally thought the thing was going to fall off as well. So we just built it here. On the to-do list is clean up this entrance. I'm not really too sure which. The other one's a bit more cleaned up, but I think Chad, you says before, maybe use some voxel hands to remove the bush that's kind of half hanging in the air. I'm going to give a crack at that as well at some point, see how it goes. Right now, this one, it's going to need some of the same treatment because there's one there as well. Let's continue on. Another curve, straight back to track. This was the first viaduct I built. So see here, this patch here, I think this is the silicon and the nickel, and I think just down here is gold and magnesium. So I'll use a pipeline to connect together, build my second station, but first on the line here, and this will be where some of the trains will stop. So the station won't touch the track. That's the thing I've got idea, is that the station won't actually touch the track. It will be ringed around it but not touch it, so it'll be a completely separate grid, so with no contact between them, and I think that will allow me to keep like the sim speeds up. So let's continue on a wee bit. I learned so much tunneling and making turns watching that. It's really education. I'm glad I was able to help, actually. You know, I was learning on the spot, to be honest. I'd only done like limited experience with it and wee bits and bobs, so I'm glad I've actually been able to help you with that, because it's difficult, and I wish I had somebody that could have taught me, or at least I had just passively done it and then I would have came across it, but I didn't. So I was like, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? And that's one of the things about when I was in my work and I'm on my own just working away, and I'm sitting there thinking to myself, because my job's a labour job, so my brain doesn't really need to get used too much. So while my hands and my legs are working away and doing what I need to do, I'm thinking to myself, how would I do that? How did I dig out that tunnel? How did I get that working and that stuff? And then it just comes to me, and I'm like, I'll give that a try. And then I tell you, 5 minutes later I come up with another solution, then another one, then I forget the first one that I came up with, and then I do the third one, realise it was a bit of a mistake, and end up relearning the first attempt and then putting that one in place. It's all mixed up in here. I mean, it's just a skip in the brain, you know. Anyway, let's continue on. Now, those of you who have been like watching the channel for a wee while, or are catching up, or recent members, or not, hello. This part here of the track is where things started to go wrong, because I start to go uphill, right? And I didn't take something into consideration, which was, although we're going uphill here, and I wanted to aim for that little crack in the cliff, the problem was the track wasn't pointing that way. So what do we do? We turned left here. But when you turn left, well, in an incline, you start to go off centre. So the track is actually starting to lean to one side. In this case, it was leaning to the left. I'm going to say the left. I think it was the left. And by the time you get to the top of the hill, it's actually so bad that the whole track is 15 degrees angled to one side. So originally, I built an entire line of track about 15 times 15, because it was 15 blocks long, and it was 15 segments, and it was 1 degree per, like, a rotor in the middle, where 1 degree pushed back the way. So after the first 15 blocks, it was now only 14 degrees. Another 15 blocks, 13 degrees, so on and so forth, until I like straightened it all out. But the problem was, every time a train's going over it, the wheels are bumping against that like broken wee segments of track. There was no smooth in it. So I just went, ah, and I eventually snapped and went, fuck it, I'll build something big, which is what I'm about to show you when I get to the top of the tunnel. Oh god, that's me in and out on a daily hike so much. I am fixing to find an apprenticeship at a car mechanic, exactly, because otherwise you just start thinking about how I fix stuff at home. You know what? That's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing, also, because it's like, if you're still thinking about something, then you're going to be coming up with solutions. And if something happens, you've already thought of a solution, you remember it, you put it to work, it's done. You know, you do well. And we emerge and already you can see the fruits of my labour as I change the track. I remember, like, just here at this piss, I turned left straight towards the station on the left side of the screen, and it was so problematic. Now it's counterproductive when you think I'm like here, just here, I'm turning right. This undoes the banking of the curve. Ironically, I done 15 segments of 15 pieces of track with 1 degree deviation when I just needed to do this, and that was it, to straighten it out. Then all I needed to do was level it, and it was done. The problem was up here, and this got me thinking. Now, I'm going to linger on this for a wee sec when I come back out the other side. This is quite tight, but it is enough space for the trains to go under and get through. The pylon does not touch the tracks on the bottom, so the grids are separated. So it means that my sim speed's not going to crash, I'm not going to burn, it's going to be all good, everything's going to work fine. I wonder if you could set up a tiny single bogie car with a programmable block and an LCD and use that sort of leveler and measure incline and rotation and such. Oddly, the solution I found to that with the incline and rotation is literally just put a helm on the track and then see how on the UI at the bottom right, the horizon, just use that. That was literally all I needed. And when I'm on this a helm on a block with a rotor, I would just like tick it 1 degree and watch until it straightens out, and then I would know exactly how far I've travelled, and that was it. That's how I fixed it all. It was literally just a wee simple solution like that. That was it. It's about an hour in, guys. If any of you have noticed anything, like, because this is my first stream, if you've noticed anything wrong with the stream, the output is fuzzy, sound quality, if you give me a wee heads up, tell me if you think that it's alright, because that feedback would actually be helpful for me, because I'd know how it's going on. I mean, it's like an hour in, and I've actually forgot to ask. I mean, it's like I'm quite excited about what I'm showing, you know? So a wee bit of help would be great. Anyway, so all the way through here, relearned all my tricks for the previous tunnel. This one was like so smooth all the way around, even like a wee extra like trench line on the inside, extra smooth. Oh, lovely, lovely. And this bit of curvature here with the voxel, oh, nice. Coming all the way out here and then covering back on itself. Now, why am I going to linger here? The reason I'm lingering here is, I don't know if it's my eyes, but does this side of the track here look like it's higher up than the other side? Because I'm wondering, instead of building a space elevator or a straight line track that goes up to space, what if I done a giant, constantly curving corkscrew, like up the way? You know, just spiral it all the way up. And if I could do just the 2 kilometers to say the moon of Titan, would that work? I'm not too sure. I see we got Chad, quite a creative solution to the railroad. Applause. Thanks very much, Chad. It was just out of necessity. I literally just looked at the wee ball in the corner and thought, wait, that's not straight yet. And then, bingo, got it. Fossil says, your sound is amazing and frames are great, but if you want me to give feedback on audio video sync, you got to make something like a pile driver or an noise maker so I can help check. Good point. I literally just thought of the mining things are there, but unfortunately the mod I got has the audio on that removed. I will make a noise shortly, trust me, I'll make a noise shortly. Can you pick up the music I've got in the background? It's my Spotify, just a wee soundtrack playlist I've got in the background. Now I'll tell streamers to clap, but you are doing no face. No face at the moment. No, I don't want to frighten you too much, you know. Think you're a big hairy Scotsman. So let's continue on with the track. Train on the track. Here's the Iron Mine station, the first station that was built. Again, I've got traffic lights in place. Now these are still set to when the traffic came to an end point. These will change when it's up and running. Not sure if I'll be able to get to that today, but that will be changed shortly. Because I'm fast running out of time here that I'd set aside for this. But yeah, this is my first wee one. Depositors for each side of the track. It should be full. No, it isn't. I have 5.6 million dense iron and 2.3 million tainite ore. I'm curious, did something break? Ah, power's off on some of them. Because I switched them off. Right. See, I switched them off. The Red Wings is, yeah, terrifying face. Yeah, well, you had to look at it across the 40k table today, so, Foster says, I'm so quiet, I thought you were, it was so quiet, I thought you were running the official soundtrack on 1%, and I'm running a big stereo, so I should be able to hear it. Oh, if you want me to turn it up a wee bit, just let me know. It's not much. It's literally just my wee soundtrack playlist for like TV shows and games and stuff, just whacked together. Judges can't be any worse than some people that show face on stream. True, but I think it's merely a me thing at the minute, Chad. I'll say it now, right? Ooh, hang on. What's that say? Give me a wee sec, guys. Something just popped up on my feed there. Something just went wrong because a wee hint came up saying error that YouTube's not receiving enough feed, or it's just my frames went down. I'm not too sure. I don't know what happened there. I'll briefly change back to my character and plug her in somewhere. Wrong door. Up we come. Oh, right, we're in. Anyway, back to this. Right, so let's continue on and follow this track. See where we get to. This was a longer curve than normal. Damn, speaking of devil, and the Steam starts shutting. See, I was wondering that because I literally just a few seconds ago something came up saying it was an error. I'm not too sure. I'll hang about here for a wee sec because I'm not sure what's happening there. You know, like I'm new to this. It's like I'm not really too sure what's happening. Lots of buffering on sweaty or something in your end. Streaming lag. I'll take a wee mess around now. Just give me a wee sec, guys. See if I can work out what that was. Dev connection because what comes through is 60. Ah. Right. Open the widget. No, not into session. Such yours will see buffering. See, when I went on earlier on, it says change this setting to that, and I don't know if it worked. Checking my output there now. Something just moved behind me. What the hell was that? Ooh. Anyway. Give me a wee set. I'll try a trick here, see if this one works. And then apply. And then apply. Click OK. Please tell me I didn't mess that up. Please work. How's that? Because I'm not sure if that worked. See, now I'm starting to panic because I'm like, what went wrong? That just popped up there. Refresh. Hang on a sec. Sorry, I just had to clear my throat there. I hope you guys are still there and you're able to see something because I'm at a loss. I'm not too sure. I tried resetting it. Smooth stream for the past 60 seconds. Thank you. I needed to know that because I've got a monitor that's monitoring, I think it's kilobytes per second, one black frame, but you're still on. So I think that black frame was, I was changing the kilobyte allowance that my OBS is able to do, and I changed it back down to the standard and then back up to what YouTube was recommending I do. I'm not sure what the upper limit of that is though. Here it reminds me of the modern There's pop music right there, and I can hear background audio. I think maybe YT set playback speed to 1.25 and it's still catching up. Oh, right. Yeah, because that just randomly popped up for me, but it says on one of my panels that it's an error, YouTube's not receiving enough, but my uploads in kilobytes is way up rather than what it was when it first started, because it dropped all the way down. Now it's back up to a more reasonable amount. Modern Farosi music. I'm going to need to look that up. Anyway, let's continue on. 27 viewers, that's unreal. For a guy doing his first Space Engineers live stream, to have 27 viewers in right now, it's fantastic. I've been in for another 10. You guys are amazing. That's absolutely brilliant. I hope I'm not being, over the top, too loud, too irritating. Let me know, if I'm alright, because I don't know. I'm still trying to get used to this. I'll settle down eventually, I think. I just noticed I'm in spectator mode moving along this track, right? But the power thing is moving as if the train's moving. It's not. Right. Whew. I will just jump out of that now and back to here. Right. So, where were we? Continuing on. So, by the way, I broke up the episodes into like phases. So, if I stop here, right, all of what you see, so the station at the far right, 9.1 kilometers away, going all the way around into the valley, then all the way up here and all around here. This was phase 1. This section here was phase 2, done over the course of like 3 or 4 episodes, but in reality it was like 2 weeks worth of effort, right? Hang on. Pardon me. Faroe Islands, it's like Shetlands, but more Norse people. It's actually also sitting between Scotland and Iceland as well. Don't know about the exact distances, but yeah, it's a nice wee place up there. I hear it's got a lot of wind, and that seems to be a thing. Anyway, so phase 2 was this whole section of track. A lot of straight bit of track, but this was a bit where somebody had asked, are you going to follow the terrain? I tried so hard just to keep it in the terrain, but because it's so bumpy, I thought low to the ground, but try and keep it as steady as possible. But because the planets are smaller with the curvature, eventually I have to dip down again, and eventually all downhill, straight down exactly where I was aiming for. And I aimed because I used that trick Chad that I mentioned earlier on to Fossil, where I put myself in a helm on a block attached to a rotor, but in this case it was a hinge. And if I move it just 1 degree in either direction while keeping the horizon straight, I can then see how many degrees across I'm facing to aim at a specific landmark. So in this case, I wanted to aim for the cliff that's in front of us so that I could get down to ground level and then follow the valley around. So I angled it down the way to see just how many angles of degrees down, and then I had to calculate how many blocks to level out I was going to need, and then just shoot straight down for the actual valley. And cutting in here, small amounts of cuts to the voxels, floating across, another wee cut to the right, and then the nightmare happened, starting to level out the track down here. This was the hardest part of the build, and it doesn't look it, but this truly was the most diabolical bit of the whole track, because you can see under here the cuts and the random slices into the, I just couldn't get it to work properly. And then I went, got some dinner, came back to it, and it was like a light bulb just went on. It was like, oh, that's how you do it, and it just straightened it all the way out. And it's the hinge thing again. it's measuring out how far you need to be for each elevation at the end point of the 15 blocks that I was using, because it's 15 blocks because the longest bit of the train is 15 large grid blocks long. So I want the whole train to be level out before I do another angle, another deviation, another hump, another lift, another change, so it all straightens it out. Oh yeah, I almost took flight visiting that place years ago when I was very, very wee little lass. Well, there's nothing stopping you now, other than, well, cost, but I mean, I'm sure you could maybe, if you still fancied it, obviously, maybe taking a wee trip out. I'm not sure about myself though. I like it hot and sunny in places, and in Scotland right now it's been so hot, the locals have been melting. Like into, you think it's a wee pool of milk? No, that's just one of the locals waiting for it to cool down so they can reform into people. It's a wee dad joke there, you know. Well, let's continue on, right? Another big curve, and then what happens? The terrain falls away again. That's the biggest challenge, is following that terrain. So I just thought, you know what? Screw it. Suspension all the way down. And this, oh good God. Those of you who have seen, I say good God, all Omnisire, I forget which one's the real one, you know. The Machine God, you know. I think it was like episodes 48. I even wrote on the video when I was editing it, 8 hours. Did the fuck? That was like at least 16 plus hours spread over 3-4 days, right? Every ounce of free time I got was just piling into it, just to go fae here all the way to here. That's it. But it's the fact that it's so long, and getting every single one of all the struts all in place, getting all the projectors all in the right place, whacking down every piece of track. It took so long. And although I did get like the trains can actually operate now welding 2 meters a second. Any faster than that, they're going to start missing blocks. So that's the thing I know that they don't tell you, is that the speed at which you can move across something and weld up, because flying ones do it quicker, and it's, oh, it doesn't translate well to a moving rover. I don't know why. Oh, and Chad, one of the things I meant to mention to you, you were talking about when some of the trains are bouncing as well. I fixed a bit of track. That's the bit I meant to show you directly, actually. Where is it? I've got an example here somewhere. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? There. Right. You see this? It's the 2 half blocks. It makes it so smooth now. So when the locomotives, the actual train is gone straight across it, it works fine. Smooth AF, right? The problem I have got is though that if you're ever seeing like the welding train bounce and hop about a wee bit, I think that's the game engine itself specifically, because it's registering a new welded block, so it's like a vibration or something like that. Because I was sitting in the cockpit of the train and the actual speedometer jumped every time a new block has been welded in. I don't know if somebody else is able to explain that a bit better than me, but it was like I was noticing that the wheels are literally bouncing just a wee bit every time a fresh group of blocks is coming in. So that's something not to worry about. It doesn't affect the actual main train, just the mining ones as they're welding up. So let's get back down there while we're on the way. Allopathic Fossil Fuel says, same here in Denmark. I'm sunburnt, constantly drenched either from hot rain, hot gusts and glaring sun. It's like fucking No Man's Sky planet here. I understand completely. I'm a labourer, I work outside, and for the past 2 days I've been working outside in 30 degree heat, UV 5 or 6, plastered in sun cream, looking at my colleagues who are turning bright red like they've been facing into the open reactor 4 at Chernobyl and wondering why they're red, and then there's me just turning nicely Turkish gold. Everybody's jealous. I take a good tan, you know, a right good tan. It's lovely. It'll fade, but that's winter to worry about. Anyway, right, here we are, right? Another drop. So, earlier on, I was talking about how absolutely murderously difficult it was getting it to level out. but because I'd already just done it, it became much easier and simpler when I got down here to the ice. It did drop a wee bit too close for comfort here, but it leveled out, it leveled out, it leveled out good. And a nice wee turn, and then ice fields straight to the end. And here is the final loop. And this is where the two trains met face to face and had a wee smack. Now, the primary base is 20.3 kilometres away from here. Double that, because I've still got the other side to go. That's the full length of the track. Now, I've not tested the full length of time it takes for a train to get here, but it's going to take some time. Ooh. Because I have took so long in explaining all that one, I'm not too sure what we should do next. So I've got about 40 minutes left. Now, the question is, do I hack away a piece here and do a version of that, which will take a lot of time, or save that till later and instead jump into this and drive this back? What do you think? Because I'm leaning towards driving the train. Let's see, where am I? Where's my character? Here we go. I don't know what unit this is. That could be a problem. See, as you can tell, I've only put this wee bit here, but not anywhere else. It's not ready yet. Can I do it? Can I do it? Can I do it? Yeah, I think let's. I know it's not going to be a massive, like, heavily building stream and things, right? It has been mostly bring guys up to speed, hear my voice, you know, hear me waffle on about all I've built. But I'm thinking drive the train and see how long it takes for us to come side to side with this locomotive here. And I'm going to chop it in half. But before I do that, let's get a wee quick look here. Home Path of Voiceview says, okay, bunch of questions. What's your trade? Retail. But I also said labourer. So I'll let you try and have a guess at that. Thoughts on salvage crane car to avoid train engine exterminatus? Thoughts? Right. Oddly, right. I had this idea of doing a live stream in the future when I get all my anxieties and my nerves by doing this one, and doing it in a creative mode only, and building a train similar to an idea that Chad had, who's below in the comments, had also mentioned before in the past, a kind of steamy type of train. And I have seen a train in 40k lore that's kind of like a steamy, but also has a lot of like less like this, that's more like a Battlefleet Gothic ship, and more like something the Scutari would use to get about in. And I was thinking something similar to that, but have an actual crane system where a kind of drop down landing gear that will grip the track, so that no matter how much weight it's going to be lifting, as long as the landing gears are holding on to the track itself, it won't topple, won't fall, and I'll avoid the mistakes of the lifter that I had. The other idea was just getting a large grid lifter, but the idea is there to build a kind of train like that with a whole crane system, because I built an excavator for an underground playthrough that I did, where it came in multiple parts and it had an extendable arm that dug out ores for a static position, and it was all small grid, so I can do something similar to that. And the more pistons that are on it, the more newtons of force that can lift. Thoughts on half-beam blocks of trap material? It is a good idea, right? Half-beam blocks is a good idea, but it depends if it's going to be used with a guide wheel in the bottom, because like under here, the original designer had, that's missing, so bad example. Here, there are 4 here guide wheels, and one slightly lower than the others, right? I don't know the exact specifics of why it was like that. The original designer is the one who placed them in that order. I redesigned and then re-engineered them and put different settings because each setting is different for each train that's going to carry the load. But if you're using the beam blocks, is the wheel going to be sitting in between the gap in them? Then they might not be in contact. If you're rotating the beam block, then the vertical wheels are going to be trapped in there, so that will be doing some of the guiding for you. We'll use... how much is a beam block actually? So I'm assuming you're going to mean like a standard beam block. So that's 25 steel plates, and my efforts are 12, but multiplied by 4, so that's like 48. Anyway, so you're using some steel plates, right? So it could work. I'd say give it a try and see how you get on with it, right? Chad says, I'm completely ole with a pastel white complexion. I avoid the sun like a vampire. There's nothing wrong with that, Chad. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. Be as pale as you wish. Avoid the sun as you wish. Just make sure that you're taking, some vitamins just in case. Don't be deficient in vitamin D. Dreadwing Alex says, train from SM1. Too big. It's too big, Alex. Way too big. Way too wide. Literally both of these tracks would be for one train. Possible, but too big for this build. Emily Ackerman, hello. What's your favourite flavour of bread? Scottish plain. Scottish plain breed. Although I've been partial to rye farmhouse bread lately. It's kind of a bit salty actually. I thought it was no bad. There is a service yard near me for the State Rail. They got a car with a lifter crane they keep ready for lifting derailed stuff and lost debris from the track there. Even got a flatbed behind it. Not bad. I've seen a few on YouTube and a few IRL. In fact, there was a train station that's not far from me, and one was going to an old service yard and it drove past, being hauled by a Class 66 Freightliner. It looked like it was being decommissioned, to be honest, but I did see one IRL. It was all painted yellow. I think they're all painted yellow when they're today with service trains are here. Can you do a Minecraft hardcore run? Probably not hardcore, because I get too attached to a lot of my stuff. Irish accent. Thank you. It's actually Scottish Glaswegian, but thank you. I am partial a wee bit of Ireland as well, but we'll not go any further than that. But yeah, it's actually Scottish, but thanks a lot, I appreciate that. And I meant using half beam blocks. Half beam blocks as in... these ones. These wee half beam blocks here. Are you talking about upside down or right way up? Because that could be tricky, and if you're talking about half on their sides, the wheels might not have enough like grip or friction on them. Fortnite skin? I really wouldn't know. I've never actually played Fortnite. It's not ever been on my radar. So, apologies. I'll just put the hinge locks on here. So I'm putting the hinge locks on so that when I decouple this, it'll remain... there we go. It'll remain in place. Now that this is a separate grid, now that the primary one at the back here is the moving locomotive. So this is going to be distracting when it comes to turning that on. Let's see. That's what I was afraid was going to happen. I'm going to have to read these. So, what did I say? APB. APB. There we go. Right, this one will be run, cruise, stop. Stop, big capital letters. That's number 4. Run. Oh, let's see. Cruise. Oh, what speed? Increments, bring it up in increments. 5 right, because the program block that's on its right side facing. Click. And 5 space M/S. Just temporarily check that's right. No. Ah, bugger it. Oh, right, I need to turn the atmospheric thrusters on. Right, all on. 5. No, it's going to take some time to work out. APB. Cruise. 5. See if it just works. I'll do that in a sec. 5. No, so that's still not that one. Cruise left. 5. That is movable. Where do we go? Let's see. I thought putting them full sight inward with the brackets pointing outwards, so it's perfect square hitbox on the inside for the grid. Though for a real large train, I reckon brackets up. That could work. That could work. It's worth giving it a try. See how you get on. If Clang starts being a problem for you with that piece of track, try and switch in our half block might be temporarily. I mean, and because the gauge, the width of your wheels might have something to say about how it would work with the beam block, because there might be collisions. But if you're saying it'll have the hitbox will be fuller, you might actually be alright with it. I say give it a try. Chad says, if you build a crane car, one way to stabilise the lifting heavy weight from the side would be to build wheels that wrap around the grid track from the underside while you're stationary. I'm actually planning an experiment with a wraparound piece of track using the wheelbase that I've got right now in order to do a suspension hanging thing. But that's an idea it's on paper right now. But it would be a good idea to hold it in place, because then the wheels would have the friction, the tension underneath to hold it attached. Cruise caps off. No caps on this one. 5 forward. See if that works. Oh no, I know what I need to do. It's it's an error with the grid. Right, this is one that's a problem. Get rid of you. And programmable block. I almost forgot, and I forgot I needed to replace that one. See, because, right, this is a wee insider secret, and I'll get back to the comments in just a wee sec, right? If you're using 2 programmable blocks to use the cruise control script, both of them will be in conflict with each other if they're both on the same grid. Even if it's merged through merge blocks and multiple hinges and stuff, it will still cause issues. That's what I've discovered. However, what I've also related to doing is turning them off. It worked, but kept one of them on. But when I disconnect them, as I'm doing right now, it is a tendency to leave an error in the other one, which would be this one. So I was unable to make it work. So now I have to redo it. So I'm going to do... Come on. No. APBCC. Right? And then edit. Browse script, refresh, cruise control, check code, done. Right, let's see if this works. What we've got here, why did you have to turn off the PB? That was literally just what I'd said there now. You should name your train Crazy Train like that one Ozzy Osbourne song. I could do, but I have ideas for the names of some of the trains. But that's a wee future thing for us to work on. You'll see what I mean. I'll just redo this now just in case. I don't want it to cause any problems. Press the stop. Next one. Blocks on its right side, so cruise. That's not how you spell cruise. Cruise 5 right, because right side facing. Does it work? Let's try that again. Cruise left. 5 left. Uh oh. Okay. Yeah, I messed that. I made that. Boo boo. This gets frustrating. Cruise 5 left. I needed to confirm it and then press it. Why won't you work? Pick a random one, all off, and thrusters on. Wait, that's okay, I made a bit of a mess there because I'm using the LCD for the hopper, not the cruise control one. Like A, P, B, C, C. Now let's see if I can get this to work properly this time, and that means the emergency stops on the wrong one. Run using mag plates to lock the track. All aboard. Done done. Couldn't you just recompile the script rather than grind the block out? See, I tried that, but every time I done the recompile, the error still remained the same. So it meant that I had to literally destroy the entire block before I could put the script back in. I don't know if it's like maybe a conflict with having the same script on the same thing, but facing the wrong way. I'm not entirely too sure how that works, but I hoped I kinda got it working properly this time if I'm using the correct one. So cruise 5 first. This would be forward facing. Confirm. C5. Nope. Let's try again. I'm betting it is the other side. APPCC. It would be right hand side. I'm betting it's the right hand side. 5 right. Confirm. No, wrong way, and the stop is literally on the wrong programmable block. No! Before something really breaks. Stop! Right, so obviously I need to put it in left. Mid pizza bite, thought you need to make a toaster shaped parade wagon to appease the Magos and Fabricator General. Well, when you say Fabricator General, are we talking about Zagreus Kane or Kilmore Howell? Where do your loyalties lie? With Mars or with Terra? We'll see about that. Very tech adept moment there, applying violence because turning on and off won't work. Yes, exactly. High tech problems, low tech solutions. Dragonloon may also try putting a new script in a block, then putting the crew script back into the block. Yeah, might be worth that, so you don't have to grind each time would be easier. Yeah, but I think one of the reasons, Dragon, that I wasn't really spending too much time on it is because the original plan is that this is going to be the only locomotive for this train, because originally the question, where is the first one? Right, panic. Where is it? Where did it go? Not that way. Right. Please tell me I've put a bumper. Oh, right, here it's there. So that little emergency, right, caused this one with no propulsion to be pushed so far along the track, and I didn't even notice. Whew. Panic over, I suppose. Yeah, so Dragon, what I was saying is that the train is only going to have one locomotive, so only needed really one program block to make the whole thing move. The reason I've had two on either side is because the track is not complete yet at that end, and I still needed the train's usefulness to bring my ore back to the station to refine and then build more track at the other end. Once the whole thing becomes like a mega loop that wraps around most of the planet, then I will reduce to just the ones that only need one of the program blocks. But it is a good idea though. It is something I'm going to actually look into, because I think an idea of where I could use that elsewhere. Do I spoil everything right away? But I've got ideas for different devices. I'm just getting hydrogen, by the way, guys. I've literally just ran out again. Don't need all of this. Hydrogen, hydro. Right, I'm good. Right, let's get this train moving. It has been long enough. Space Engineers does not time efficient. I always take your time and What did you guys see? Because I saw a tit press the wrong button. Yeah, that's. All right. That was embarrassing. Seph lives. Oh, that's unreal. Oh, OCC loyalty to Mars. Good. Ah, where's the body? Was it here? Body location. Where's the location of my body? I'm hurt again. Where is it? Where's the body? There's so many things to see. I can't even see the board. Right. Dragon. Thank you. Don't tell anybody. It's embarrassing. Right, I'm going to one. I have an idea where my stuff went. I think my builder units are on, so they've grabbed them and they've put them into storage. Yep. Right, so that did work, and there's a hydrogen there. That was the body of a Meager Observator. We did not observe your slamming into the track at Mach 5. Thank you. There's a wee backhander there for you. Thank you. Chad, I saw your excitement manifest itself and forgotten to maintain sufficient height above the voxels and grid. Yeah, that'll happen. The amount of times I've died just for that wee bit of excitement. Yep. I've actually started like leaving them all into my series as well. I think Build and Repair already picked it up. Yep, that's right, Dragon. Picked it all up. But now we are somewhat functional, so I'll just put the final bit of program in, which would be cruise. Did I say left? Was it left 10? And then I'll put 10/ms. Confirm. 6. No. It's right. Was that? What? Left is backwards. You see, my problem is here, I keep typing it in and then see, as soon as I hit the enter button, it falls completely out of my brain. Stop! I'm going to run out of track. I'm getting panicked. Right. Cruise. 5. Right. Confirm. 5. No. So it is left, I suppose. Cruise 5 left. Come on! Move! Yay! That's it, we got moving! We're moving forward! At last! So it's left is forward on this locomotive. So cruise 10 left, click, and it would be 10 space m/s. 6. Now moving up faster, up to 15, right, cruise 15 left, 15 space m/s, and then click 7, yep, we're getting on, one more to get to 20, and cruise 20 left, 20 space m/s, and stop driving myself mental, I will change that one just to say the same, so 5 left, cruise, and then just put 5m/s and done. Now, catch up with the chat. Fossil says, actually, I would probably get excommunicated and marked as Dark Mechanicus because I refuse to acknowledge the airfiles as the peak of human technology. It isn't peak human technology. It really, really isn't. I consider the convection oven superior. You might actually have a point there. Yeah. What's that at the door? Is that an Inquisitor? Hooray. Yes, Dragon. We're moving. We're moving. All hail the motive force. All hail the motive force. Now, I am only going at 20, right? But I have reason at the moment for that. I'm getting in this corner first. And then I'm going to yeet it up to 30. Now, if you saw episode 49, you'll see me fall off the track at 30 with the mining train. These ones are heavier. Much heavier. And I risked it once and tested it by yeeting them at 30 around the whole track. And it made it. I don't know why, I don't know how, but it did it. I'm tempted to try it again, but I'm scared it'll fall off the track again. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually make a new save. Just in case. I just wait for the wee thingy to pop up and say game saved. There we go. Now, let's see. 30. /S. Let's go. Now, I'm worried that this is not going to work, but let's start at 15. 16. Right, hang on. Did I press the wrong 8? Right. 9. No, I've programmed that one wrong for 30. Run. Cruise 30 left. And then put 30 in space m/s. 90. There we go, we're up at 30 now. This is up at 30 ms. And let's see. Jad says convection oven is the best but slowest, microwave the fastest but cooks irregular, air fryer is just an acceptable middle ground. It help if you've had the Dominoes and you've got a leftover. An air fryer does make it feel more like it's a Dominoes, even though it's a leftover, and it does do my chicken wings, my battered chicken wings pretty well. Beyond that, it's alright. I did a air fryer pizza toasty thing though, and it works out well, but it depends on the sauce I'm using. Homeopath Fossil says, imagine Tom's a tank engine but Warhammer 40k and its engineers getting way too attached to their trains and hallucinating the faces. Well, I have seen a meme, a Chaos Tom's the Tank Engine. It's quite an old picture actually, way back when I first started playing 40k. And yeah, I can actually imagine that. And a story where every time they're walking around the yard at the new arrival, they see a face leering at them. I can imagine that. Dragon, and can you move it closer to the track? The camera? Or me? Because I literally get, see this bit here where the camera keeps jumping all over the place? Yeah, that's pretty much the third person. This is first person. I tried to make the cockpit like look good, right? And it's alright, except you can't see bugger all. I mean, you imagine you're sitting here, right? What can you see? Well, you can see the golden wings of the Aquila at the front. And that's it. You can't see the track. You can't even see what you're driving towards. The camera sees everything, and that's right on the tip of the train. The other option I've got is just follow it with the spectator cam. Where am I? There we go. Right, there we go. You missed my first question of what is the centre of gravity for the locals. Oh, right. Aye. Thanks for. There it's there. Aye. Sorry. Yeah, I'm first time streaming. You know, I'm gonna miss things, but yeah, put it back in if I've missed it. That's a good idea, actually. Centre of gravity. Do you want me to show you? Because I think I can plug that in actually. It's no gravity range. Centre of mass. Oh, what's the button I need to press again? Ah. So it's mostly on the wheels, right? And see that one there, right there in the middle? That's it. If I can keep that low, it seems to be fine. And it does seem to be just above the chevron line around the base. Right there. It's not bad. It keeps things down, it keeps things in place. And we'll see what happens when we get to a corner. Yeah, I've already passed a corner and a tight one. So see the centre of gravities in these cargo cars, they go up when it gets heavy. Which it shouldn't, but it does, and that's because I'm foolishly put them higher up, the cargo containers inside higher up than I wanted to. Centre of mass off. Right, let's see what we got here. This feels like there was also that awesome fan-made horror series based on Thames Tank Canyon, collected something all like Hall 17, and it actually disturbed me. Well, I'm going to have to look that up actually, that sounds interesting. This feels like Buck Rogers. Okay. It was like Barry Hines' mockumentary. It was atrocious. Uh-oh! Well now! Right, anyways, that's impressive how low the centre of mass. I would have recommend artificial mass box or something to help stay on the track. Can you get it down to the chevron next to the track? I did try, however. Can artificial mass blocks be near the wheels? Yeah, when it comes to artificial mass blocks, I can probably put them a lot lower and a lot closer to the wheel set. I can even replace some of the heavy armour blocks on the wheelbase and make them heavier again. But I was trying to make this train no need to use artificial mass blocks because they use gravity components, which means cobalt. And not everybody's got access or time to refine that amount of cobalt. Eventually I did give up on some of them, but I could add more. I was also thinking about adding under the track wheels, but it doesn't work with this kind of setup, but we'll see. Speed is going to be limited by the ability to get these things around corners. And you see all the secret parts as well, the underside. So, fresh load, do you think we should go back to where we were? Drop the speed down a wee bit, do you think? Exit to main, let's see where we can go. Fuels don't work in planetary gravity. Dragon fuels AMs. I'm not too sure what you mean, but can't the artificial mass be better than the wheels? Answer that. By the Emperor. Yes, Emperor is good and all, but sometimes restart the special save. Yep, that's why I done the save. Yep. Dr. Headbonk, greetings. I like your work. Thank you, Doc. And there we go. Homeopathic fossils coming in with a clutch. We saw nothing. That's right. We saw nothing. It's just a reload. Nothing happened. Right. It was just a dream because one of the scriptwriters quit mid-episode production. Exactly. The writers are in the real world and they wrote that in and they've hit the backspace and now the fresh bit's getting written. Not enough purity seals. Well, there never is enough purity seals, is there? I was replying to homeopathic. Oh, sorry. butting in. I was butting in there. My apologies. Oh, the long load times. 58 viewers. Really? Thank you. Hello. If some have probably came in late, hello. What we got here? Saying that artificial mass box. See, you can tell I'm a bit of an idiot there when I didn't actually realise that you said AM stood for artificial mass. I'm going to get better at this, right? I'm going to get better, right? So, artificial mass don't work in planetary gravity. Yeah, they don't work in planetary gravity, but the weight of the block, because it's got the gravity components, does add considerable weight to it. I would use batteries, but the PCU jumps as well, and I'm like specifically trying to limit myself, Dragon, to try and keep the construction requirement lower, so that if, say for example, you're in a playthrough where you've had absolutely no chance of finding cobalt or any heavier materials, then you can still build a train and maintain functionality and keep it attached to the track. That's been one of my biggest tricks to try and work this out, is to try and figure out a way to keep the centre of mass down low, but keep it down in such a way that it won't fall off the track whenever you take a corner at certain speeds. Now, in the early days building these tracks, my speed was entirely limited to 10, and I really couldn't get above 10 meters a second. With the extra like components, the gravity components and stuff with artificial mass blocks, increasing the weight does drop it down a bit further and allows for more stability at 20. Having said that though, I did put this rune at 30 and it made the whole journey easily without coming off the track. The fact that that came off the track that's kind of bothering me a wee bit, because that shouldn't have happened. But I've dropped the speed right now down to 20, as you can see in the bottom left. We'll see if it makes it this time. I'm cool with the trains not being that fast, because for me it's about the capacity, not the speed in which to do it. Because for this train can still maintain 20 meters a second with, say, 10 cargo wagons behind it, all completely full with ore. We're talking 15 plus million units of ore, right? And it'll still go. You did that in a flyer, its batteries would be dead, and you would have to sit for about 40 minutes to an hour just recharging the batteries to do another trip. And there's only really so much ore that a flyer can lift and carry in an atmosphere. Space, that's different, right? So these ones will do much more. Trains are not as fast as cars and trucks anyway. Yeah, true. And if you've seen my other trucks, my small grid one, it's only got 4 cargo containers on it. My large one is huge, absolutely huge, and it can be converted to only carrying ore and take the refineries off, put more cargo containers on it. The problem I've got with that though is that it really struggles, the wheels really struggle with the speed and to get things moving. The same applies to the train to a lesser extent, because there's a lot more wheels carrying the weight, and the wheels are the ones that's driving the force. It's the atmospheric thrusters and the locomotive that's pulling it, so it's kind of like bypassing that problem with the wheels not having the power to move the truck. But I do like using the wee mini truck to drive up to the mining site for the stone that I'm collecting, and then using the plinko machine to drop it down into the back of the truck, kind of like the reverse of a cement mixer. Because if you've ever seen like the cement mixer trucks, it's got like a wee scoop at the top, at the back of it, so it would drop in there. If only that one sergeant was driving. Right, hang on, right, sorry. Chad says, try 20 minute settings this pass and watch more closely when it reaches the same portion of the track. Will do. If only that one sergeant was driving. For the first stream, this is really bloody good, and I enjoy this so much. Thanks very much. Thanks, Fossil. Dragon, that makes sense. Dragon says, trains are not as fast as cars and trucks anyway. Yeah. Not sure if I misread that the first time round and then answered it differently, and now I've reread it, and it's like... My apologies, Dragon. I see a lot of interior plate requiring parts, and being an IO player, that means aluminium, which means locating bauxite ore, which is only 5%. Yep, I've got the IO mods installed. I've just not added them to this save, so that would be tricky. And I think you said before that you're going to be using the metal wheels, so that might also be something to keep an eye on as well. The metal wheels getting used. Bringing this over. Wrong tunnel. Let's see. To make it at 20. I mean, Tales of Orders. Hang on. Ladies and gentlemen, I got it! Sorry, I was a bit loud. Can you tell I'm a little proud of that? So 20 seems to be my good optimal, because that turn that we just went through there is one of the sharper ones on the route. So if it can make that one, then the rest of them should be easy. Right? Let's see. Could corners be safer if a little angle to the corner help momentum? No, Dreadwing. Wouldn't work, because that means banking the curve, and every time it banks the curve, it's going to have collision problems when the two tracks meet at the other end, and it just is not working at all for me with this setup. That's why I built like the huge, like this monstrosity here. The reason I built this is to not need to do that, to keep the track as level as possible to the horizon. That's why that's there. Right, where are we? Right, we're here. Bit jittery here with that camera. Right, anyway, let's see. Who else we got here? You tried that before and it caused it. Yep, Dragons answered you there as well. Yep. So I'm a wee bit slow in keeping up with the chat right here now, because I've been looking at some of the panels as well, and then controlling the spectator camera. Then getting overly excited, as you probably noticed, and getting around that corner there. So forgive me. I didn't mean to trip over myself with the chat. Yeah, I measured the smallest carriage width I could manage on a small grid with the metal wheels, and they'd go exactly past the large grid side. I could manage on a small grid with the metal wheels, and it was hard past the metal grid side. Is that when you're using the beam blocks? Because I'd be curious as to how that goes. Something I'd actually like to get a look at as well. Now I know, guys, I'd say I was only going to be doing a wee 2-hour stream tonight, but I think in light of the success of the train actually moving, we'll go as far as getting up to the first station, the Iron Station, and then get a wee peek at what's happening there up there when the train comes to a stop, right? Because I think things have went well tonight. Sorry, hang on a sec. I think things have went well tonight, and I might do live streams again in the future as well. But when we get to near the end, I'll put some details down about what the plan is going ahead. Our Dr. Headbonk, yes, I am Scottish. I'm Glaswegian. Yes, Glasgow's own special guy. I'm no special, actually. Nobody knows I exist most of the time, but you know, I just as an idea of what I look like, just think a big hairy Scotsman. That and you're close enough. Dragon says, you're doing just fine. Eventually we have so many people watching and chatting that you will not be able to keep up with chat. You know what? I'm actually a wee bit flustered, because I thought I wasn't keeping up with the chat, Dragon. And it's my first stream, and I'm like, the panic kicks in, and you're like, oh, what's going on? And yeah, Dragon, you there? You helped to it. You said to Dr. Headbonk that I'm Scottish. Yep, thank you. Nope, he's been building rovers and trucks to get to a better base location centre between bauxite, titanium, coal and oil, and checked how far out they went. How far did it actually go? Headbonk says, grandfather came from Scotland in 1904. Wow. I mean, that's like, what, 121 years ago? That's quite a while. And there's not that many Scottish people around, you know. Scots always makes me relax, just like Australians and certain populations of Irish, because I don't have to navigate the minefield of not accidentally swearing. It can be a failing, swearing a lot. I can't speak for the rest of my fellow countrymen, the rest of Scotland, but for what I observe being here in Glasgow, we swear an awful lot, and a lot of the time we're not meaning it in like a negative or derogatory or horrible way. It's just like enunciation for some words, and some words like the C unit word that if I ever said, YouTube would slap me down. As far as I'm aware, for the people around me and the people hang out in my peer groups, it's not used as an insult. It's used as a term of an endearment, which is odd. But yeah, as long as you guys are alright with me dropping the odd F-bomb or anything like that, you know, that's all good for me, because I don't mind dropping the odd wee spicy word here and there, because for me it's just everyday speech for me. I actually got told off once in a Games Workshop store when I rolled the dice and they went the wrong way and I accidentally swore it loud, but it wasn't a bit of frustration, and the staff member told me off for it, and I got a little upset, and then immediately remembered, oh wait, he's absolutely right, I shouldn't have swore, because there are children in the room playing at the table across from me. And I'm like, I forget I'm not in the company of adults when I'm playing the game sometimes, because you're in a large hall and there's lots of tables and lots of people playing. There's going to be people there who either A, don't want to hear swear words, or B, are too young to hear it, so try and be mindful of what you're saying. But here, this is my table, this is my chamber, so it's like, you come to see me, and hopefully you've came to hear a wee bit of the swears as well, so that's great. I can relax. Many Scots in Canada. Yep, many Scots are in Canada. Yep, I assume by any chance is that where you're from, Headbunk, that you're for Canada? Fossil says, just breathe and check. It's like highway driving, keep your eyes forward and then check the rear view mirrors every other minute or so. Your chat is your rear view. Good advice. I'll actually try and remember that, because yeah, I will have to keep an eye on things. Dreadwing Alex is also Scottish, so ouch, I know, yeah, he knows, we all have the same problem. Chad says, next project, a self-contained self-repairing train that can't stop, inspired by Snowpiercer, drills and hinges pistons to gather stone resources as it rolls along. Yes, it's a good idea. It will work. It's just incredibly slow, because depending on the size and mass of the train, for the storage, for the amount of stone, and then the refineries on it, because I tried it in one of my mining trains, just try to drill for a wee bit, and the amount of stone I picked up, it just wasn't really viable. But I get the idea, and there is more that could go along with that. It could be worked on. Next, let's see. You know, I was thinking of swearing stuff when I went for my groceries, and I thought that the car mechanics simulator is unrealistic. I wouldn't know about mechanics, I don't drive. But I know of the reputation. Dragon says, you just have to mark the streams as not family friendly. I do, actually. That's the thing with every one of my videos and every one of my streams going forward will have the wee bit checked that it says that it's not for children. Because it's like other nations have different ideas of what language is and is not approvable, so I can't trust myself not to swear, you know. So it's kind of like it's in my nature. It's just a thing, really, I guess, I suppose. Anyway, there is no tools magically disappearing and having to stack up F-bombs to make them reappear. Yeah. Headbunk says, indeed, guilty of being Canadian. Canada? That's not bad, not bad. It must be like early. Is it no early? Not even quite midday. I'm not sure what part of Canada, but I think East Coast would be like lunchtime-ish and West Coast would be maybe still sleeping. I'm not too sure, actually. The planet's round. I'm not too sure. Just a car mechanic wannabe, swearing is universal. car repair across the world, and same with industrial labour apparently. Well, I did say I was something of a labourer, but in retail, so you can imagine the frustration. 1 PM, not bad. Lunch. I had lunch between turns 1 and 2 of a 40k game where I wiped out nearly 40% of my opponent's forces in turn 1. So while he was rocking up his turn, I just sat and had my protein and a Mars bar. What park? I guess in Idaho, US. It's just 1 PM. Looks like we got 2 people in the same longitude. I should be same TZ as Scotland due to daylight savings. Copenhagen time here is currently 22:05. It's 21:05 hour here in Scotland, so it is 1 hour of difference. Hush. Oh, right, there we go. Time to begin slowing. Right, 7, 6, 5. And we'll just gently pull in. See, when you're slowing down these trains, right, if you're slowing down as harsh, because the other wagons have not got any brakes on them, they're just going to roll straight in and smash the back of the thing in front of it. So what I'm doing is when I've on my taskbar at the bottom, I've got the incremental speeds to drop them down when I approach a station or whatever. Telling a sensor block when it detects a train coming by to do that in order to stop, say for example here at the station, that's going to be tricky. But I'm thinking if I attach it with like a timer block that's attached to another timer block and another timer block, then the first one will activate, drop the speed down to 15, tell the second one to activate, will drop the speed down to 10, and so on and so forth until it comes to a complete stop. The emergency stop function that's on the front of this train, just stop, completely dead. I may have to add that to the system because it will be problematic to say the least if it keeps running forward into each other. What have we got here? I was undershooting it. Let's correct that quickly at the minute. I don't need to use my cruise controls, I can just drive forward. You see, only almost dragging, only almost a derailment. I'll just nudge forward a wee smidgen here. Right, let's see. How are we looking? Right, so far so good. The thingy's not being bunched up. Connectors are still connecting. I'm still not completely under. You know what? I'm going to do something quicker. Right, Control K. This. Move it forward. I love remote controls. There we go. Right, that's it. Moved under. Should be plenty to go. Everything's still on track. Everything's in the station. Not bad, not bad, not bad. Alright. Right, where are we? Is there a way to make the wheels add friction to act as brakes using program blocks? There isn't a set button for it at the minute. I know Keen added sets to like things like lights and that stuff, like press the button and it sets it to green, press it again, it sets it to red. But I don't think there's a set button for the friction. But these wheels have all got their brake not turned off anyway, so it wouldn't make a difference because I need them to flow quite freely for the atmospheric thrusters in the locomotive to pull the trains. Wait, does doing the cool cook your own insult thing that Northerners and Scottish people do with putting your bloody in front of a random down count of swearing? Not here. It can, if it's done in anger, be perceived that way, but not really. Chad says if you can control subgrid thrusters, having reverse thrusters on the last car would help slow down without them all bunching up in the locomotive. That's right. That was one of the ideas I had when I had the 2 locomotives attached, is that then there would be thrusters at either end. But I didn't know that there was a script that I could have loaded in until literally 3 days ago. And I've not played the Runeweight yet. In fact, I've actually had a hard time finding it. I'm going to have to look again, because there's another YouTuber who's been suspiciously doing trains a few months after he became slightly aware of me doing it. I'm not saying anything. I might have inspired a few people. But he also has the script. And I want to get a hold of that script myself, but he never named it in his video. So I want to get a hold of the script and see if I can work with it, because having reverse thrusters on another car would be great if I could control all the thrusters on each of the subgrids. Looks like your rear truck on the engine is off the rails. You talking about this wheelbase here? No, it's on. It's perfectly on. It's just that this part of the track is curved, and because it's on the rotor, it allows it to move itself out. Unless you mean the last one, which I didn't thoroughly check. No, that's on. It's just a damaged wheel set, and that is also a damaged wheel set. No, my wheels are on. My wheels are on. Yep. Wheels are in alignment. Wheels are all on. Yep, we're all good. We're all good, Dragon. Would calling someone a bloody basket case or a weapon or unsolicited used car sales officer count as bad language? Probably. It might. I don't want to speak for others, but might. Headbonk says Whips subgrid control script. Whips. Hang on, I've got a pen here. That'll do it. Right. So Whips. I've got a few scripts for Whips as well, actually. I'll have to take a look. It's been a while since I've been on some of the favourites. So Whips subgrid. Whips subgrid control script. Right, I've wrote that down. Right, thank you. I could really do with that. Whips is very good. Dragon says, gotcha, just an illusion. Yep, just an illusion. Forgive me. No, guys, it's well beyond the time I was allowed and allocated to day for my first stream. Right, it has went on a wee bit longer. So I'll say, I think we've done well. I think I've done well here. You guys have been great. The viewer numbers have been fantastic. I mean, there's 66 right now. I mean, that is a little overwhelming. You know, that's absolutely fantastic. Conversations are going on as well in the chat as well. It's like bringing people together. It's fantastic. You guys have been great as well. I think I should plan for another live stream as well, and the next one will be. Won't be spending an hour like going through what's already been built, right? That was a necessity of the fact that all the previous episodes in my Desert Rail series hasn't had me speaking in it. Going forward, when I start recording the episode 51, I will be doing a little mixture of me telling you bits and pieces about what's going on, detailing what's happening, and then a sped up bit with various bits of music, and then slowing it down again, then speaking again, and then, you know, like a proper kind of video. The thing I've got in my head is kind of like that, right? Chad, yes, it was a fun stream. Thanks for having us along, Sverine. Be well. Oh, thanks, Chad. You be well as well, right? And if I come back on, please come back and see me again. You've been good. So my videos going forward will be like that. Since I've went so well with the live stream, my jitters, wet jitters, I don't feel them right now. Should be good, and I'm thinking about doing a monthly stream. So like in a month's time, do another one, and then maybe even 2 weeks for now. I'm not really too sure. See how well I get on with the film and the episodics as well. Because this is essentially episode 50 of the Desert Rail series, despite being monumentally long in comparison and live with me speaking. So going forward, because I've got certain things I want to tick off through the series as well, I'll try and slot in the live streams between. I will slot in live streams in between as well, because you guys have been great. All of you, all 66s it's currently viewing right now, those that have came in and came out, those of you who have clicked like as well, getting it pushed out there, fantastic. In the chat, it's amazing to see that, and that these are talking to each other as well. I did butt in a couple of times, right? I misunderstood something, right? I butted in, right? But I'll get there in the end. But yeah, thanks guys, you've been great, and I'll look to in the next couple of weeks maybe getting another stream going in conjunction with the rest of my series as well. I'll even try and get some creative streams on where I'm in creative mode and showing you new designs and things as well, and working together to get things added together and then add them into this world as well. So I'm going to have to love you guys and leave you for tonight, right? Some of you that have came in a wee bit later, right? There's nothing really I can do about that one. But if you've clicked subscribe, if you're already subscribed, or if you've got the bell thing, if you click that, it gets notified. My phone with some of my favourite usuals goes off a lot, actually, sometimes middle of the night, which is reminds me I need to get up and pee and all when it goes off as well. So I guess that's a positive at least. So there is a silver lining. But yeah, for my first stream, I like to think I've done all right, and I think I've done all right by you guys as well. But I'm going to need to shoot off, and yeah, thanks guys for coming along, and thanks for being here as well. And you've been kind, you've been helpful, you've been good. Yeah, thanks a lot, and I really do hope I've been entertaining for you guys too, right? But I'm going to log off now, alright? But thanks a lot, guys. You've been absolutely tremendous. I can't say more things, right? But thanks.